Let's do this one first. So,
Okay. What even is that? Oh, okay. So let's try. Okay. So I try to point out in this particular one, like look how many games and these we're doing it once.
Possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. However little known the feelings or views of such a man may be on his first entry.
Can we count the games? If you go down and to the right, they get smaller and smaller.
That he is considered the rightful property.
So there's System Shock at the bottom right, and then Gandalf laughing, and the Doom Lady is in the top right. And then, what is that? Oh, it is Gabriel Knight 2, the Beast Within. So, okay. And then what's in this slightly bigger screen? Well, it's Space Suit. Cryo.
You want to tell me, and I have no objection to hearing it. This was invitation enough. Why, my dear, you must know, Mrs. Long says that Netherfield is taken by a young man of large fortune. Did he came down?
A beginning is a very delicate time. Know then that it is the year 10.
Okay. I was new to the streaming and whatever. I did all this setup, and then I accidentally hit like the button that resets the game or gets you out of the movie. And then like, ouch.
Okay, so hi, I'm Christina, the manager at the Pacific Beach Library.
I should have just aborted, deleted evidence that ever happened, and then start from scratch. Or own it and like save it as a Zen theater live fail.
Explain why? Could the vampires have something to do with why I had my phone short
But this is charming. We get to see the show one more time. And I'm gonna get it a little smaller just so we can marvel at everything else on screen. You'll have to make it full screen and squint, but there's subtitles down there also to keep it that in. Keep that in mind. And the rest is distracting you. I can sense it. This is too much for you. I have to fix it. I can't expose you guys to all the chaos. You're like, I can't even see the Dune Lady. So this is too much too soon. Sorry about that. This is like a magic trick or something.
One more time.
This is like when I do a tarot reading that takes way too long. Like when I explain everything behind the scenes. It's the explanation nobody asks for.
A beginning is a very delicate time. Know then that it is the year 10,191. The known universe is ruled by the Padishah Emperor Shaddam IV, my father. In this time, the most precious substance in the universe is the spice melange. The spice extends life. The spice expands consciousness. The spice is vital to space travel. The Spacing Guild and its navigators, who the spice has mutated over 4,000 years, use the orange spice gas, which gives them the ability to fold space. That is, travel to any part of the universe without moving. Oh yes, I forgot to tell you. The spice exists on only one planet in the entire universe. A desolate, dry planet with vast deserts. Hidden away within the rocks of these deserts are a people known as the Fremen, who have long held a prophecy that a man would come, a Messiah, who would lead them to true freedom. The planet is Arrakis, also known as June.
1994, so 97 years after
Welcome back. I'm Christina, the manager at the Pacific Beach Library. Thank you for joining me for day 12 of our read-along together of, ready, let's go for it, Dracula by Bram Stoker. And so, let's see, today for tea, I did decide to take the plunge. I'm going to finish off that other tea. So today is the last of our Earl Grey de la Creme. But I have fancy new teas to try tomorrow, so we'll experiment with those. And let's see. This smells so good. You've heard me talk about this tea a lot if you've been reading with me for a while. Hello, good to see you. Out of curiosity, for anyone who's here today, are you drinking anything fun? Also, are you reading anything fun outside of Dracula? I always like to see what folks are reading. I get good ideas from it. Not that I don't already have a huge pile of books at home to read, but you know how it is. You can always have more books to read.
Okay, so now there's one more to
And more
focus
cues
on.
to read. Alright, so let's talk a little bit before we get into the reading. I posted a poll yesterday afternoon.
Begin by
So
simply
far,
listening.
as of right before
Slow
we
down
went into
and
today's
see
reading, I
just
looked at
how
the poll
peaceful
results.
today can be.
8 people had voted that they wanted
Thank
us
you
to
so much
just
for
do the
being here.
live reading.
Today,
So that
instead of
would
the
only post readings
June
Monday
intro,
to
I was going to
Thursday.
do a
And no one had voted for the option of having
You'll
a
see.
taped reading on Friday. So I'm just going to call it right now. I figure we've got our decision made. So I'm
Alexa.
just going to go ahead and
Knock, knock.
after this week, I'm going to just do the
Knock,
readings Monday
knock.
through Thursday.
Who's there?
This week,
Banana.
I'm going to do one
Banana
last
who?
Friday reading.
Banana
And the
fantasy
reason is that
final
it
mana.
just works
Banana.
out with the timing, with the number of chapters that we have, that if we do a reading this Friday and then only Monday
So
through
now
Thursday,
we're
for
looking
the
at the
reading,
top
we will
right.
finish up
And if
on
you want,
Thursday,
you can squint
October
and read
29th,
those Dracula
which means
subtitles.
by Halloween, we will have the conclusion of our tale of Dracula. And then we can
Begin
make
by
questions
simply
if we want to,
listening.
maybe have a little party.
Slow down and see
either
just
the
how
following
peaceful
Monday or
today can be.
perhaps on Halloween itself.
Thank you so much for being here.
So we'll
Today,
figure that
instead
out
of the
later.
June
But for
intro,
now,
I was going to
this
do
is the
a
day. We're going to go ahead and just do the live stream.
You'll see.
And our last live stream will be this Friday. Our last Friday live stream will be this Friday. And then we'll keep going after that
Alexa?
with just Monday through Thursday
Knock,
readings
knock.
together. All right, so
Knock,
let's talk
knock.
a little bit about what
Who's there?
happened in yesterday's
Banana.
chapter of
Banana who?
Dracula.
Banana fantasy
Yesterday's chapter
final
11,
mana.
it was
Banana.
really good. It started out with Lucy Westenra talking about how fortunate she felt that all these folks were taking care
Oh,
of her.
and just so
And
you know,
then,
this
simply
listening.
Dr. Van
Slow down and see just how peaceful.
was saying, he was quite smug because he knew that he had left Lucy Westenra surrounded by garlic blossoms and that there was no way that
Oh,
any
and the plan for after the short
vampire
preview
would be
video
able to
thing
enter her.
is 39
And
steps,
when he arrived
worse
at
and
the house
worse.
again, he was quite happy. Neither he nor Dr. Sue were to stay the night because Dr. Van Helsing was so confident that Lucy would be fine. And when they go in there, they run into Lucy's mother, who says, "Oh yes, she's sleeping like an angel. She's not disturbed at all. She's just so calm." And he's like, "Wow, that's great." And
Everything that lives is designed to end.
That's my wonderful garlic. And
We
then
are
she goes,
perpetually
"Well,
trapped
it's not all you. I
in a
also
never-ending
I
spiral
noticed
of life and
the
death.
garlic flowers even on her. So I took them.
Is this a
and I
curse?
opened the windows and I
Or
aired
some
out the
kind of
windows so she would get
punishment?
suffocated by the garlic.
I often think about the God who blessed us with this cryptic puzzle and wonder if we'll ever have the chance to kill him.
But of course, if he goes in, he has, lots of blood tonight.
Good luck, have fun.
And so he has.
This is Command. Your house squadron, come in. To be here. All units have penetrated the stratosphere. Autopilot systems green across the board.
After that,
This is Operator 6-0. All units confirmed. We've passed the 50-kilometer threshold and are proceeding toward the target. Understood. Once you reach their
end for treatment, even if it stinks a little bit, you just need to keep it there. And Lucy is actually really pleased. She's saying how she seems to be doing so well. She is, she's finally even gotten used to the smell of
my air defenses. Proceed to manual attack formation. Then destroy the Goliath-class unit by any means necessary, and gather what data you can. Understood.
12H down. All units activate manual mode and rely on visuals to evade.
Already engaged.
Now I'm also going to throw in here too a little bit of the
Sweetie,
commentary.
no matter what anybody says, I love you better than
Origin point with long-range
anybody
lasers
in
confirmed.
the world.
There was any
11 feet down. Our HM229 cancel armor is effective.
about the joke he tells
Enemy unit sighted ahead.
Hi, baby. This is your lonesome.
Requesting permission to engage.
Gather round me with your sentimental heart and a pair of pretty eyes. I've waited all day for you. So get comfortable, light up a pipe full of hot tea, and dismiss everything but pretty clothes. What tomorrow may bring. I wonder when my heart starts to sing. Maybe I've been listening, but I've kept busy so I didn't do something. Today I spent the whole day wrestling with a chair I'm attempting to reupholster. It's a very slow process, and I'm not sure I'll do a very good job. Because I get lumps in the padding that goes on before the actual cloth, and I can't seem to tuck in all the little edges that must be put out of sight. Upholsterers at this moment are my biggest heroes, and I wish I knew one who could help me finish this chair, so that it'll be done when you return. Not that it seems I just keep missing you all day long. Once I had a feeling you just walked by when I stopped in the newsstand.
4 feet down.
How else can I explain my heart suddenly beating a little faster and my hand shaking as I picked up the
2 feet to operator 6 up.
Was it just
All allied
imagination?
units down. The
Or wasn't
operation is
there a touch
complete.
of that familiar
Awaiting further
aroma?
orders.
Operator,
The
Huey,
aroma of a
we need you to
wonderful
run
weapon.
into Unit 9S and begin
It could
gathering
only be
data on the
Bond.
string.
I couldn't miss that anyway. Bond Street tobacco is mild and so good to smoke and to taste and to smell. A real man's tobacco captured the heart of the girl he loved. And that's me, baby. The girl who loves you for all the things that you
terrible gatekeeper. He might be a good doctor, but he is a worse babysitter. Terrible.
Yes, sweet, it's tobacco.
Okay,
It's
that's
Bond
it.
Street tobacco.
He rushes then over to visit to check on Lucy's death. And he's saying that he's worried about having received this he's worried about receiving the telegram, and so he is he's going to continue his journal entry once he gets to Lucy. The next thing we see, the last thing we see in that chapter is actually a journal entry from Lucy with Denver herself. She writes a note saying how basically she is sure that she is going to die and she may not make it till morning. And that she is very disturbed because even though she's been sleeping so soundly and so without fear, she has woken up to hear again the sounds of like a bat or something flapping outside of her, like a bat or a bird flapping. Again, we know it's Dracula. And she's quite disturbed and she's trying to rest. She looks up and there's nothing but a big bat. And then the mother comes in, the very good mother. The mother comes in and decides to lie in bed. She's also disturbed by the noise exactly the window smashes apart. The rushes in, breaks the glass, and the mother is disturbed. I cursed the laziness of the servants that they should lie abed at such an hour, for it was now 10 o'clock, and so rang and knocked again, but more impatiently, but still without response.
From Hollywood, the Jack Benny program.
But another link in the chain of doom which seems drawing tighter. Was it the house of death that excited
You know, Rochester, fixing up this scrapbook of my European trip last summer is a bigger job.
Hours of Easter to Lucy, she had again one of those frightful relapses. And I went round the house to try if I could find by chance an entry anywhere. I could find no need for regrets. Every window the door was fastened and locked, and I returned baffled to the porch. As I did so, I heard the rapid pit-pat of a swiftly driven horse's feet. They stopped at the gate, and a few seconds later I met Van Helsing running up the avenue. When he saw me, he gasped out, "Then it was you, and just arrived. How is she? Are we too late? Did you not get my telegram?" I answered as quickly and coherently as I could that I had only got his telegram early in the morning and had not lost a minute in coming here, and that I could not make anyone in the house hear me. He paused and raised his hat as he said solemnly, "Then I fear we are too late. God's will be done." With his usual recuperative energy, he went on, "Come, if there be no way open to get in, we must make one. Time is all in all to us now." We went round to the back of the house where there was a kitchen window. The professor
Now this one doesn't
on his
have
face
the
and handed pointed to the iron bar which guarded the window. I attacked him
and
at
one
once
is
very
with that magic go to the previous
There was a long, thin knife which was backward fastened in the sashes and opened the window. I went to the shutter and followed him. There was no one in the kitchen or the servants' room, which were close at hand. We tried all the rooms as we went along, and in the dining room, dimly lit by rays of light through the shutters, found 4 servant women lying on the floor. There was no need to think them dead, for their stertorous breathing and the acrid smell of laudanum in the room left no doubt as to their condition. Van Helsing and I looked at each other, and as we moved away, he said, "We can attend to them later." Then we ascended to the sitting room. For an instant or two, we paused at the door to listen, but there was no sound to hear. With white faces and trembling hands, we opened the door to the gentleman. How shall I describe what we saw? On the bed lay 2 women, Lucy and her mother. The latter lay farthest in, and she was covered with a white sheet, the edge of which had been blown back by the drop through the broken window, showing the drawn white face with a look of terror fixed upon it. By her side lay Lucy, the face white and still more drawn. The flowers which had fire and water. Fortunately, the kitchen and boiler fires were still alive, and there was no lack of hot water. We got a bath and carried Lucy out as she was placed. And carried Lucy out as she was and placed her in it. Whilst we were busy changing her limbs, there was a knock at the hall door. One of the maids ran off and hurried out to the and
I'm so excited.
Then she returned and was next to us. There was a just
Zelda Dungeons
message from Mr. Holmwood.
and something
I
else.
bade her simply tell me that we must wait for we could see
Cereal
someone now.
generated
She went away with the
for
message and engrossed with our words. I even forgot all
That's
about
in the
it.
top right corner.
I never
And I
thought about
switched
my
to that
experience
because I
of
think
discussing
it's going to have
with
better
such deadly
subtitles for us.
earnest. I
The
knew
subtitles, there were so many
that it was a
noise.
stand-up fight with death. And in a
It's hard to generate subtitles.
he answered me in a way that I did not understand. It was sort of aware. If that were all, I would
But I was
stop
thinking
here
one of
and
these
start
should
now.
be
Hi
friends,
welcome back. Happy Monday. I'm Christina, the manager of the Pacific Beach Library. We are beginning our final week of reading together. Dracula by Bram Stoker. And in fact, today is, I think, day 24 of our read along. We're going to finish on Thursday. It's super exciting.
What I'm going to do
We're going to start out by choosing what book we'll read next. But perhaps, wait a moment, just in case anyone else is going to tune in a little late, let's start with the tea. And as we I forgot to drink my water.
I don't think it's a good day for the slideshow.
Okay, water gone. Now it's time for tea. Let's see. Today's tea is finished off with a little sample pack, so we're looking at macaroni. So today's tea is a lovely fruit infusion with, let me get my breakfast. We have a fruit infusion with apple pieces, pineapple, coconut, freeze-dried marzipan, which contains almonds, blackberry leaves, and dried yogurt. It is delicious. At least I hope it will be. I was finishing off the packet, so I tried not to put too much water. I think I have enough for it to be properly steeped. It has some good color, but it is light in color, so I think it has enough flavor. Ooh, it smells really good. The shutters open, the blinds were already down, but that opens to the edge of death. It's not so much fun, it's nice and sweet. The room was the coconut and pineapple never tasted. I'm not sure if it's a part of the suggestion, but I feel like I can taste the almonds as far as that, but I'm not sure. He was definitely good though. Okay. Now that I see at least Judy is here with me, then let's go ahead and do a drawing. Let's see what we are going to do. So I looked at the red that I opened last Monday. Thank you everybody who voted, either nominated or voted. I did bump the votes a little bit for a few. Like I saw that on some other threads, people had nominated or had said I'm voting for that one, but they didn't put it in the proper thread. I decided to be a little lenient. We're not the official registrar of Read Along Together voters, and so I decided to go and, like, if you said it anywhere that I spotted, I would have counted that vote. So we had 4 books that each had 4 votes, and they are in order of when they were nominated. In order when they were nominated, our 4 nominees are 3 Men in a Boat by George with outstretched hands. What brought you here? I cried as our cast finished. I guess art is the cause. He handed me a telegram. Have not heard from the steward for 3 days, and am terribly anxious. Cannot read. Father still in same condition. Send me word how Lucy is. Do not delay. Homewood. I think I came just in the nick of time. You know you have only to tell me what to do. Van Helsing strode forward and took his hand, looking him straight in the eyes as he said, a brave man's blood is the best thing on this earth when a woman is in trouble. You're a man and no mistake. Well, the devil may work against us for all he's worth, but God sends us men when we want them. Once again, we went through that ghastly operation. I have not the heart to go through with the details. Lucy had got a terrible shock, and it told on her more than before, for though plenty of blood went into her veins, her body did not respond to the treatment as well as on the other occasions. Her struggle back into life was something frightful to see and hear. However, the action of both heart and lungs improved, and Van Helsing made a subcutaneous injection of morphia as before, and with good effect. Her faith became profound slumber. The professor watched whilst I went downstairs to Quincy Morris and sent one of the maids to pay off one of the cabmen who were waiting. I left Quincy lying down after having a glass of wine and told the cook to get ready a good breakfast. Then a thought struck me, and I went back to the room where Lucy now was. When I came softly in, I found Van Helsing with a sheet or two of notepaper in his hand. He had evidently read it and was thinking it over as he sat with his hands to his brow. There was a look of grim satisfaction in his face, as of one who has had a doubt solved. He handed me the paper, saying only, it had dropped from Lucy's breast when we carried him to the bath. When I had read it, I stood looking at the professor, and after a pause asked him, in God's name, what does it all mean? Was she, or is she, mad? Or what sort of horrible danger is it? I was so bewildered that I did not know what to say more. Van Helsing put out his hand and took the paper, saying, do not trouble about it now. Forget it for the present. You shall know and understand it all in good time, but it will be later. And now, what is it that you came to me to say? This brought me back to fact, and I was all myself again. I came to speak about the certificate of death. If we do not act properly and wisely, there may be an inquest, and that paper would have to be produced. I am in hopes that we need have no inquest, for if we had, it would surely fill toward this, if nothing else did. I know, and you know, and the other doctor who attended her knows, that Mrs. Westenra had disease of the heart, and we can certify that she died of it. Let us fill up the certificate at once, and I shall take it myself to the registrar and go on to the undertaker. Good, oh my friend John. Well thought of. Surely Miss Lucy, if she be sad in the foes that beset her, is at least happy in the friends that love her. 1, 2, 3, all open their veins for her, besides one old man. Ah, yes, I know. Friend John, I am not blind. I love you all the more for it. Now, in the hall, I met Quincy Morris with a telegram from Arthur telling him that Mrs. Westenra was dead, that Lucy also had been ill but was now going on better, and that Van Helsing and I were with her. I told him where I was going, and he hurried me out. But as I was going, he said, when you come back, Jack, may I have 2 words with you all to ourselves? I nodded in reply and went out. I found no difficulty about the registration and arranged for the local undertaker to come up in the evening to measure for the coffin and to make arrangements. When I got back, Quincy was waiting for me. I told him I would see him as soon as I knew about Lucy, and went up to her room. She was still sleeping, and the professor seemingly had not moved from his seat at her side. From his putting his finger to his lips, I gathered that he expected her to wake before long, and was afraid of her stalling nature. So I went down to Quincy and took him into the breakfast room where the blinds were not drawn down, and which was a little more cheerful, and rather less cheerless than the other rooms. When we were alone, he said to me, Jack Stewart, I don't want to shove myself in anywhere where I've no right to be, but this is no ordinary case. You know I loved that girl and wanted to marry her, but although that's all past and gone, I can't help feeling anything about her all the same. What is this wrong with her? That's fine old fellow he is, I can see that. Said that time you two came in the room that you must have another transfusion of blood, and that both you and he were exhausted. Now I know well that your medical men speak in camera, and that a man must not expect to know what they can told about in private. But this is no common matter, and whatever it is, I have done my part. Not that so? That's so, I said, and he went on. I take it that both you and Van Helsing have done already what I did today. Not that so? That's so. And I guess Art was in it too. When I saw him 4 days ago down in his own place, he looked queer. I have not seen anything pulled down so quick since I was on the campus. I had a mare that I was fond of go to grass all in one night. One of those big bats that they call vampires had got at her in the night. And what with his gorge and the vein left open, there wasn't enough blood in her to let her stand up. And I had to put a bullet through her as she lay. Jack, you may tell me without betraying confidence. Arthur was the first. Not that so. As he spoke, the poor fellow looked terrible. He was in a torture of suspense regarding the woman he loved, and his utter ignorance of the terrible mystery which seemed to surround her intensified his grief. His very heart was bleeding, and it took all the manhood of him, and there was a royal lot of it too, to keep him from breaking down. I paused before answering, for I felt that I must not betray anything which the professor wished to be kept secret. But already he knew so much, yes, so much, that there could be no reason for not answering. So I answered in the same phrase, "That's so." "And how long has this been going on?" "About 10 days. 10 days? Then I guess, Jack Stewart, that poor pretty creature that we all love has had put into her veins within that time the blood of 4 strong men. Man alive, her whole body wouldn't hold it." Then coming close to me, he spoke in a fierce, half-whistle. "What took it out?" I shook my head. "That," I said, "is the crux. Van Helsing is simply frantic about it, and I am at my wit's end. I can't even hazard a guess. There has been a series of little circumstances which have thrown out all our calculations as to Lucy being properly watched. But these shall not occur again. Here we stay until all be well or ill." Percy held out his hand. "Count me in," he said. "You and the Dutchman will tell me what to do, and I'll do it." When she woke late in the afternoon, Lucy's first movement was to feel in her breast, and to my surprise, produced the paper which Van Helsing had given me to read. The careful professor had placed it where it had come from, lest on waking she should be alarmed. Her eyes then lit on Van Helsing and on me too, and gladly. Then she looked round the room, and seeing where she was, shuddered. She gave a loud cry and put her poor thin hands before her pale face. We both understood what was meant, that she realized to the full her mother's death, so we tried what we could to comfort her. Doubtless sympathy eased her somewhat, but she was very low in thought and spirits, and wept silently and weakly for a long time. We told her that either or both of us would now remain with her all the time, and that would comfort her. Towards dusk, she fell into a doze. Here, a very odd thing occurred. While she was still asleep, she took a paper from her breast and tore it in two. Van Helsing stepped over and took the pieces from her. All the same, however, she went on with the action of tearing, as though the material were still in her hands. Finally, she lifted her hands and opened them on the scattered fragments. Van Helsing seemed surprised, and his brows gathered as if in thought. He said, 19th September. At last, all last night she slept fitfully, being always afraid to sleep something weaker when she woke from it. The professor and I took in turns to watch, and we never left her for a moment unattended. Quincy Morris said nothing about his intention, but I knew that all night long he patrolled round and round the house. When the day came, its searching light showed the ravages of poor Lucy's strength. She was hardly able to turn her head, and the little nourishment which she could take seemed to do her no good. At times she slept, both Van Helsing and I noticed a difference in her between sleeping and waking. Whilst asleep, she looked stronger, although more haggard, and her breathing was softer. Her open mouth showed the pale gums drawn back from the teeth, which thus looked positively longer and sharper than usual. When she woke, the softness of her eyes evidently changed the expression, for she looked her own self, although a dying woman. In the afternoon, she asked for Arthur, who telegraphed for him. Quincy went off to meet him at the station. When he arrived, it was nearly 6 o'clock, the sun was setting more and more, and the red light streamed in through the window and gave more color to the pale face. When he saw her, Arthur was simply choking with emotion none of us could see. In the hours that had passed, the fits of sleep, or the comatose condition afterward, had grown more frequent, so that the pauses in conversation if possible were shortened. Arthur's presence, however, seemed to act as a difference. She rallied a little, and spoke to him more brightly than she had done since she arrived. He soon pulled himself together and spoke as cheerily as he could, so that the best was made of everything. It is now nearly 1 o'clock, and he and Van Helsing are sitting with her. I am to relieve them in a quarter of an hour, and I am entering them under the phonograph. Until 6 o'clock, they are to try to rest. I fear that tomorrow will end our watching, for the shock has been too great. The poor child cannot rally. God help you. Letter, Nina Harper to Lucy Westera. Unopened by her. 17 September. My dearest Lucy, it seems an age since I heard from you, or indeed since I wrote. You will pardon me, I know, for all my faults when you have read all my budget of views. When I got my husband back all right, I got my husband back all right. When we arrived at Exeter, there was a carriage waiting for us, and in it, although he had an attack of gout, Mr. Hawkins, he took us to his house where there were rooms for us all nice and comfortable, and we dined together. After dinner, Mr. Hawkins said, "My dears, I want to dream your health and prosperity, and may every blessing attend you both. I know you both from children, and have, with love and pride, seen you grow up. Now I want you to make your home here with me. I have left to me neither chick nor child, all are gone, and in my will I have left you everything." I cried, Lucy dear, as Jonathan and the old man clasped hands. Our evening was a very, very happy one. So here we are, installed in this beautiful old house, and from both my bedroom and the drawing room, I can see the great elms of the cathedral close, with their great black stems standing out against the yellow stone, old yellow stone of the castle, and I can see the woods overhead, chattering, gossiping all day after the manner of rooks and humans. I am busy. I need not tell you, arranging things and housekeeping. Jonathan and Mr. Hawkins are busy all day. For, now that Jonathan is a partner, Mr. Hawkins wants to tell me all about the clients. How is your dear mother getting on? I wish I could run up to town for a day or two to see you, dear, but I dare not go yet, with so much on my shoulders, and Jonathan wants looking after still. He is beginning to put some flesh on his bones again, but he was terribly weakened by the long illness. Even now, he sometimes starts out of his sleep in a sudden wink, and awakes all trembling until I can coax him back to his usual placidity. However, thank God, these occasions grow less frequent as the days go on, and they will in time pass away altogether, I trust. And now I've told you my news. Let me ask yours. What are you to be married, and where? And who is to perform the ceremony, and what are you to wear? And is it to be a public or a private wedding? Tell me all about it, dear. Tell me all about everything, for there is nothing which interests you which will not be dear to me. Jonathan asked me to send his respectful duty, but I do not think that is good enough from the junior partners of you firm, Hawkins, and Parker. And so, as you love me, and he loves me, and I love you with all the words and sentences of the verb, I send you simply his love instead. Goodbye, my dearest Lucy, and all blessings on you. Yours, Nina Harper. Reports from Patrick Hennister, MD, MRC SLK, QCPI, etc., to John Stewart, MD. 20 September. My dear sir, in accordance with your wishes, I enclose report of the conditions of everything left in my charge. With regard to patient Renfield, there is more to say. He has had another outbreak which might have had a dreadful ending, but which, as unfortunately happened, was unattended with any unhappy results. This afternoon, a carrier's cart with 2 men made a call at the empty house whose grounds abut on ours. The house to which, you will remember, the patient twice ran away. The men stopped at our gate to ask the porter their way, as they were strangers. I was myself looking out of the study window, having a smoke at his dinner, and saw one of them come up to the house. As he passed the window of Renfield's room, the patient began to rate him from within, and called him all the foul names he could lay his tongue to. The man, who seemed a decent fellow enough, contented himself by telling him to shut up for a foul-mouthed beggar, whereupon our man accused him of robbing him and wanting to murder him, and said that he would hinder him if he were to swing for it. I opened the window and signed to the man not to notice, so he contented himself after looking the place over, and making up his mind as to what kind of place he had got to by saying, "Lord bless you, sir, I wouldn't mind it was said to me in a bloomin' madhouse. I pity ye and the governor for having to live in the house of the wild beast like that." Then he asked his way civilly enough, and I told him where the gate of the empty house was. He went away, followed by threats and curses and revilings from our man. I went down to see if I could make out any cause for his anger, since he is usually such a well-behaved man, and except his violent fits, nothing of the kind had ever occurred. I found him, to my astonishment, quite composed and most genial in his manner. I tried to get him to talk of the incident, but he blandly asked me questions as to what I meant, and led me to believe that he was completely oblivious of the affair. It was, I am sorry to say, however, only another instance of his cunning. Within half an hour, I heard him again. This time he had broken out through the window of his room and was running down the avenue. I called to the attendants to follow me and ran after him, for I feared he was intent on some mischief. My fear was justified when I saw the same cart which had passed before coming down the road, having on it some great wooden boxes. The men were wiping their foreheads and were flushed in the face as if with violent exercise. Before I could get up to him, the patient rushed at them and pulling one of them off the cart, began to knock his head against the ground. If I had not seized him just at that moment, I believe he would have killed the man there and then. The other fellow jumped down and struck him over the head with the butt end of his heavy whip. It was a terrible blow. He did not seem to mind it, but seized him also and struggled with agreeably, pulling him to and fro. You know, I am no lightweight. The others were both burly men. At first he was silent in his fighting, but as we began to master him, the attendants would put his great waistcoat on him and he began to shout, "I'll frustrate them. They shan't rob me. They shan't murder me by inches. I'll fight for my lord and master." All sorts of similar incoherent ravings. It was with very considerable difficulty that they got him back to the house and put him in the padded room. One of the attendants, Charity, had a finger broken. However, I said it was going on well. The two carriers were first loud in their threats of actions for damages and promised to rain all the penalties of the law on us. Their threats were, however, mingled with some sort of indirect apology for the defeat of the two of them, particular bad men. They said that if it had not been for the way their strength had been spent carrying and raising the heavy boxes to the cart, they would have made short work of him. They gave as another reason for their defeat the extraordinary state of drought to which they had been reduced by the dusty nature of their occupation and the reprehensible distance from the scene of their labors from any place for public entertainment. I quite understood their drift, and after a stiff last launch, or rather more of the same, and with each a sovereign in hand, they made light of the attack and swore that they would encounter a worse madman any day for the pleasure of meeting so bloom and good of loaf as your correspondent. I took their names and addresses in case they might be needed. They are as follows: Jack Smollett of Dudding's Rents, King George's Road, Great Walworth, and Thomas Snelling, Peter Farley's Road, Guide Court to Bethel Green. They are both in the employment of Harris and Sons, Moving and Shipment Company, Orange Master's Yard, and so on. I shall report to you any matter of interest occurring here, and shall wire you at once if there is anything of importance. Believe me, dear sir, yours faithfully, Patrick Anderson. Letter, Nina Harper to Lucy Westender. Unopened by her. 18th September. My dearest Lucy, such a sad blow has befallen us. Mr. Hawkins has died very suddenly. Some may not think it so sad for us, but we had both come to love him, come to so love him that it really seems as though we had lost a father. I never knew either father or mother, so that the dear old man's death was a real blow to him. Jonathan is greatly distressed. It is not only that he feels sorrow, deep sorrow for the dear good man who has befriended him all his life, and now at the end has treated him like his own son, and left him a fortune which the people of our modest bringing up his wealth beyond the dream of avarice. But Jonathan feels it on another account. He says the amount of responsibility which it puts upon him makes him nervous. He begins to doubt himself. I try to cheer him up, and my belief in him helps him have a belief in himself. But it appears that the grave shock that he experienced fell upon him the most. Oh, it is too hard for the sweet, simple, noble, strong nature such as his. A nature which enabled him by our dear good friend's aid to rise from clerk to master in a few years, should be so injured that the very essence of his strength is gone. Forgive me, dear, if I worry you with my troubles in the midst of your own happiness. But Lucy, dear, I must tell someone. The strain of keeping up the brave, cheerful appearance that Jonathan tries, and I have no one here that I can confide in. I dread coming up to London, as we discussed that day after. Before Mr. Hobbs left me to that he was to be buried in the grave with his father. As there are no relations at all, Jonathan will have to be order. I shall try to run over to you, dearest, if only for a few minutes. Forgive me for troubling you. With all gratitude, your loving Dr. Sewer's Diary, 20 September. Only resolution and habit can let me make an entry tonight. I am too miserable, too low-spirited, too sick of the world and all in it, including life itself, that I would not care if I heard this moment the flapping of the wings of the angel of death. And he has been flapping those grim wings to some purpose of late, with Lucy's mother and Arthur's father, and now, let me get on with my work. I only believe Van Helsing. We wanted Arthur to go to rest also, but he refused it. It was only when we told him that we want him to help us during the day, that we must not all break down for want of rest, lest Lucy should suffer. He agreed to go. Van Helsing was very kind to him. Come, my child, he said. Come with me. You are sick and weak, and have had much sorrow and much mental pain, as well as that tax on your strength that we know of. You must not be alone, for to be alone is to be full of fears and alarms. Come to the drawing room where there is a big fire and there are 2 sofas. You shall lie on one and I on the other, and our sympathy will be comfort to each other, even though we do not speak, and even if we see it. Arthur went off with him, casting back the longest look on Lucy's face, which lay on her pillow, almost whiter than the lawn. She lay quite still, and I looked around the room to see that all was as it should be. I could see that the professor had carried out this room, as in the other, his purpose of using the garlic. The whole of the window sash was wreathed with it, and round Lucy's neck, over the silk handkerchief which Van Helsing made her keep on, was a rough chaplet of the same odorous flowers. Lucy was breathing somewhat stertorously, and her face was at its worst, for the open mouth showed the pale gums. Her teeth, in the dim, uncertain light, seemed longer and sharper than they had been in the morning. In particular, by some trick of the light, the canine teeth looked longer and sharper than the rest. I sat down by her and pressed I went over to her softly and leaned down by the door. There was a full light, and I could see that the voice was being and I could hear her back. It was round,
The following daily summary of the Thursday, April 7th, 2072, is brought to you by the Tri-Optimum Corporation. It's been a beautiful day in New Atlanta. Sector 11 in particular has a beautiful sunset right now. Temperatures are set to hit a monthly high of 28 degrees Celsius for the next 2 days, and the current visibility forecast for air traffic is 88 responses to Atlanta Falls, starting at 120 meters going into the weekend.
As he did so, he started back, and I could hear his ejaculation, "My God," as it was smothered in his throat. I bent over and looked too, and as I listened, some weird, self-sustaining living.
working around Saturn's else's orbit. Both I, as well as triumvirate's board of directors, would like to extend our
Stood looking at her,
all staff,
face
working
agitated.
tirelessly.
Then he turned to me and said calmly,
Their
"He is
success
dying.
is Earth's.
She will not be long gone. It will be much different, Martin, whether she dies conscious or in her sleep. Wake that poor boy and let him tell me the last. He trusts us and we had promised him."
We're now
I went to the dining room and waked him. It was days before I saw the sunlight sneaking into the edge of the shutter. Thought he was making
Research, triumph, the virus, enjoyable work environment where they realize this moment.
He covered his face with his hands and sat down on his knees by the sofa, where he remained for half a minute with his head buried. Praying,
Musical chime, Citadel Station means a lot more than any other place I've been to.
"Come, my son, my dear
It's more than just a
old
great
summon
vacation
of
environment.
It will be
As a
best.
corporation, triumph is given to the place, right?
When we came into Lucy's room, I could see the Van Helden hat and his usual forethought, then putting matters straight and making things
I
look
feel
as
like
quickly
I'm
as
part of a
possible.
family.
He had even brushed Lucy's hair so that it lay on the pillow in his
Musical chime, don't miss the opportunity
became
to play
inflamed,
which
her
is
eyes
right for you.
whispered softly, "Arthur,
If you think you have what it takes, send us your resume today. This concludes tonight's broadcast. You all sent us votes as 19 choices. Is your Rainbow from the Mars stage and other researchers with the staff trying out radio wishes you all like musical chime. What is a man? Seems like my did like morphology or longevity.
Her breath went like a tired child. And then insensibly there came a strange change, which I
Form
noticed.
alters content that is in shape,
The mouth opened, and the pale jaw drawn back made the teeth look longer
What
and
will
sharper.
society
In a sort of vague, unconscious way, opened her eyes, now dull and diverse at once, and said in soft and reluctant voice, such as I had never heard from her lips, "Arthur,
will it make
oh
us
my love,
successful?
I am so
If a
glad."
man is not fear death, that will make us more
Arthur
than our
bent eagerly over
ancestors
to
were
kiss her,
like.
but at that instant Van
These
Helden
questions will be
like
addressed
a
by
startled
modern
by her
scientists.
voice, leaped upon him, and catching him by the neck with both
But is the world
hands,
ready
dragged
for the
him back with a
answers?
fury of strength that which I never thought he
Musical
could possess,
chime.
and actually hurled him almost across the room. "Not on your life," he said, "not for your living soul and hers." He stood between them like a lion at bay. Arthur was so taken aback that he did not for a moment know what to do or say, and before any impulse of violence could seize him, he realized the place and the occasion and stood silent back, waiting. I kept my eyes fixed on Lucy as they then opened, and we saw a spasm as the rays lit like a shadow over her face, the sharp teeth clamped together. Then her eyes closed, and she breathed heavily. Very shortly after she opened her eyes and all her function, and putting out her poor, pale, thin hand, took Van Helden's great round one, drawing it to her, kissed it. "My true friend," she said in a faint voice, but with untellable pathos, "my true friend, and his. Oh, guard him and give me." "I swear it," she said solemnly, kneeling beside her and holding up his hand as one who registers an oath. Then he turned to Arthur and said to him, "Come, my son, take her hand in yours and kiss her on the forehead." Their eyes met and set their lips, and so they parted. Lucy's eyes closed, and Van Helden, who had been watching closely, took Arthur's arm and drew him away. And then Lucy's breathing became victorious again, and all at once it is all over, said Arthur. She is dead. I took Arthur by the arm and led him away to the drawing room, where we sat down and covered his face with her hands, sobbing in a way that nearly broke me down in tears. I went back to his room and found Van Helden looking horribly down, and his face was sterner than ever. Some change had come over her body. death had given back part of her beauty, but her brows had recovered some of her flowing lines. Even her lips had lost their deadly pallor. It was as if the blood, no longer needed for the working of the heart, had gone to make the harshness of death smoother than lightning. I thought her dying while she slept, and she died. I stood beside and held her and said, "Ah, well, poor girl, there's
Oh no!
it is
Don't forget me.
He turned to me and said with grave solemnity, "Not slowly.
Man and pizza.
When I asked him what he meant, he only shook his head and answered, "We can do nothing with death." Wait. So that concludes chapter 12 of Dracula. So it turns out both answers were correct. It was like sort of relief. She was alive to start the chapter, and now she is dead at the end of the chapter. Although there seems like a good chance she might become even better. You know, the vampire. Let's see what happens. Here's tomorrow's reading of Dracula by Bram Stoker. Thank you very much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing more of you tomorrow. And I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Bye.
Which one is also nice? Oh, that's the shower. White noise. Well, yeah.
Hi, friends. Welcome back. I'm Christina, the manager of the Pacific Beach Library. I'm happy to join you for day 13 of Dracula by Bram Stoker. 13 is a wonderfully lucky or unlucky number, however you want to look at it. It's a story like Dracula. So let's start out with some wonderful tea. Today's tea is a brand new tea. I've not yet tried it. It is a little, it's Earl Grey tea. It's actually called Dorian Grey. It's like the picture of Dorian Grey right grabbed off our shelf, which also is not bad. If you want to go ahead and maybe consider this for our next real out, or see what else you're doing. But the tea is what I'm trying to get. It's Dorian Grey black tea, which is probably because I want to get most of trying it. It says that the ingredients are black tea, essential fruity notes of bergamot, apple, cornflowers, linden, and aloe petals. I don't really know what linden is, but I'm excited to try it. So let's give that a taste. And I realized too that, you know, it says that only for 3 to 5 minutes. They actually did pull out their tea both times, so now we can have our tea with the proper amount of time. Let's go ahead and give that a taste and see how that comes out today. It has a really pretty color to it. It's like, I mean, from here, I'm not sure how it's photographing on the video, but from my angle, it's like a light brown color, but it almost has like a reddish hue to it. It's very pretty.
As we are almost all gathered here, I would like to congratulate Paul for what he's done.
I mean, it just smells so good. Let's see. It's Earl Grey, but it's a more delicate flavor.
He has visited 6 sieges. Now these troops of Fremen are working for us. That's a good start.
It reminds me of something. I'm trying to think what it is it reminds me of. It's not sweet, but it reminds me of something sweet. Oh, I may have to have a few more cups of this before I can figure out what it is. It does say it has apple, cornflowers, linden, and mallow along with the bergamot black tea. It has a really nice flavor. Helen commented that linden flower tea is very calming. I don't think I've had linden specifically, so I'm not sure if that's the smell I'm identifying, but something in it smells very good. It's a delicate flavor. It's not as strong as the standard Earl Grey or even the one that I had yesterday, the Earl Grey
generated in the center.
But it's wonderful.
No messages have arrived yet.
Ooh, that's really good. I highly recommend that one if anyone wants to try some. It is the Dorian Gray tea. As I said, similar to the portrait of Dorian Gray, but it said this time it is the tea of Dorian Gray. It's delicious. Okay, let's talk a little bit about yesterday's chapter in Dracula. Yesterday we read chapter 12, and chapter 12 started with, or we had ended the previous chapter with Lucy not sure if she was going to make it through the night. And when Dr. Stewart goes in, they find out that, that's when they realize that the maids have been drugged. And they never do exactly say who drugged them. I mean, I assume it's somehow Dracula related, but he couldn't get into the house initially, so I'm not exactly sure when he had time to drug the wine, but it must be Dracula related. But yeah, the maids are drugged, the mother is dead, and Lucy is barely clinging to life. Van Helsing and Dr. Stewart are able to stabilize her health, and in fact, they're able to bring her back a little bit when they're able to stabilize her when Quincy Morris, the American friend who had tried to also to wed Lucy but was rejected by her in favor of Arthur Woodward. Arthur comes to visit on behest of Arthur just to check on how she's doing. And when he comes in, they say, "We need your blood. Will you please do another transfusion?" And he says, "Of course, anything for Lucy." So they hook him up to like the or whatever it is they're using to do the blood transfusion for Lucy. And afterwards, Lucy seems to be a bit restored, but not as much as she had been. And what's interesting here too is that Quincy talks with Dr. Stewart, and he says, "Well, it seems to me that from what I gather,
and for some reason the middle one is dead." That's the game.
Doctor gave him blood, and I suspect that Art also gave blood because he looked rather weak. I saw him 2 days ago, and it's kind of strange that she would be so weakened like that. He said it reminded him of when he was in Argentina on the Pampas, and he had a mare that I was fond of go to grass all in a night. One of those big bats that they call vampires that got at her in the night. And what was this gorge in the vein left open? There was a blood left in her stand up. So that's another instance of the suggestion that vampires, at least on the radar, even though of course we're just talking about the vampire bat and not a vampire person. But again, that's sort of starting to come out there again, that there must be some way, some place that blood is going. Because if she's received 4 transfusions of blood, for her to be as weak as she was, the blood must be going somewhere. And that's what they're saying, what took that blood out? And so as the chapter continues, Lucy is not doing well. Quincy leaves, Arthur comes. They've also interspersed those with 2 letters from Mina Harper. And Mina says basically that, her husband is doing better. He has actually he's gone back, and his employer, Mr. Hawkins, Parker and Hawkins, it's hard to remember, her husband, Jonathan Parker, was sort of adopted by his employer, Mr. Hawkins, who has said, I've known you for years, I trust you, I care for you, I don't have any children, I'd basically like to adopt you and have you take over the business, and you're welcome in my home, and I've left you everything. And it's a good thing, and they're very happy. The very next day, though, she writes a letter again saying that you wouldn't believe it, but Mr. Hawkins has died very suddenly, and so, we're quite distraught about that. Jonathan is feeling unhappy about things. He is very nervous, especially after the ordeal that he's just had in Pennsylvania, and so we will see you soon because Jonathan is going to go to London for the funeral service of Mr. Hawkins, and so I will try to come over to see you. I'd long to see you. So that's between the correspondence that Mina sends to Lucy, which is noted in
It probably carries me back and forth.
Okay, so what am I doing?
I Hi friends, welcome back. Happy Monday. I'm Christina, the manager of the Pacific Beach Library. We are beginning our final week of reading together. Llama by Bram Stoker. And in fact, today is, I believe, day 24 of our read-along. We're going to finish on Thursday. It's super exciting. I thought we would start out by choosing what book we'll read next. But perhaps we should wait a moment, just in case anyone else is going to tune in a little late. Let's start with the tea. Oh dear. Once again, I forgot to drink my water. Hang on. Technical difficulties. Okay. Water gone. Now it's time.
I think it's good to have background music for Filipina Kung.
Title: A Most Extraordinary Tarot Reading for the Internet Matrix Collective, The Mystical Chronicles of Kunk. Gather round, dear souls of the Internet Matrix Collective. For tonight, we delve deep into the ethereal realms of tarot, where the cards whisper secrets only the bravest dare to uncover. We're about to embark on a journey through the mystical and the mundane, blending witchy wisdom with British wit, all while keeping our knickers firmly in place. Let's shuffle the deck. No, not the one you use for a good old-fashioned game of Snap, but the one that holds the echoes of time and the whispers of the cosmos. The cards I've drawn today are the Page of Wands inverted, the Four of Swords inverted, and the Five of Swords. Possibly inverted, but definitely unsteady on its feet, like a drunk pigeon trying to navigate a roundabout. First, let's gaze into the past with the Page of Wands inverted. Now, this card usually symbolizes enthusiasm and new beginnings. But when it's upside down, it's a bit like a bright-eyed intern who's just spilled tea on the boss's new laptop. It suggests a time when creative ideas were bubbling like a cauldron of dubious potions, exciting, yet dangerously chaotic. Perhaps you had ambitions, bright and shiny, yet somehow you found yourself knee-deep in a reality show where the plot twists were more bizarre than an afternoon tea with the queen and a random llama. The message? Sometimes we're all like that page, teetering on the edge of brilliance and utter nonsense. Now, moving to the present, we find ourselves confronted with the Four of Swords inverted. Oh dear, this card usually signals a need for rest and recuperation. But in reverse, it's like your cousin who just won't stop talking about their extremely unhealthy obsession with collecting ceramic frogs. It's a clarion call, an urgent reminder that perhaps we've overstayed our welcome in the realm of hustle culture. The universe is nudging us, more like elbowing really, to take a step back, breathe, and for heaven's sake, stop trying to fix everything in the online world. After all, even the most powerful witch knows when to put down her wand and catch some Z's. Finally, we turn our eyes to the future, where the Five of Swords looms, most likely inverted, but let's not get too bogged down in details. This card often signifies conflict and defeat, like arguing with your partner about whose turn it is to put the bins out. But when inverted, it brings forth a flicker of hope, suggesting that perhaps it's time to move away from the petty squabbles and into a realm of resolution and camaraderie. Imagine a future where instead of sniping at each other like British tabloid journalists after a scandal, we come together offering a collective hug, or at least a polite nod of acknowledgement. Because let's face it, we are British, and that's as close as we get to emotional vulnerability. In this tarot reading for our beloved Internet Matrix Collective, we are reminded that while the world online can feel like a battlefield filled with arguments, unhinged comments, and questionable cat memes, we also have the power to transform it into a place of creativity, connection, and perhaps a dash of good old-fashioned British humor. So, dear Internet denizens, as you navigate this vast web of chaos, remember, don't take life too seriously. Embrace the absurdity, like a jolly witch casting spells in a supermarket aisle, or a pub full of folks debating the best biscuit for dunking. And as you venture forth into the mystical unknown, channel your inner bots, bravely face the wands inverted, and know that together, we can steer the Matrix into something more enchanting than ever before. Keep your brooms ready and your hearts light, and let's make this online world a little less toxic and a lot more delightful. Hashtags for the cosmic journey: 1. Kunk Tarot Magic, 2. Wands and Wit, 3. Inverted Insights, 4. Collective Chaos, 5. Cosmic Camaraderie, 6. British Witchy Wisdom, 7. Tarot and Tea, 8. Wands and Woes, 9. Matrix Mischief, 10. Philomena Foresees, 11. Collective Kunk, 12. Swords and Sips, 13. Rest and Rejuvenate, 14. Tarot Tales, 15. Mundane to Magicals, 16. Dunking Biscuits and Cards Scene, 17. Kunk in the Cosmos, 18. Laughter and Magic, 19. Collective Nonsense, 20. Witchy Whimsy, 21. Five of Swords Folly, 22. Kunk of the Round Table, 23. Mystical Mishaps, 24. Embrace the Absurd, 25. Tarot Tonic, 26. Cheers to Chaos, 27. Kunk in the Matrix. So go forth, fellow travelers of the web, and may your clicks lead to wonders.
What I think is good is to do your own reading yourself, just your own feelings and intuition and filling the gaps as best you can. And then you have AI do their version after, and you try not to bias AI too much about what it's going to say, to see like, hey, it's kind of cool to compare, but I just wasn't in the mood to do one today. So I think I should switch this back to this one.
There's no harm in that. Well, there isn't. This bottle is 3,000 proof. And when you shake champagne, it makes bubbles. And bubbles are air. And if you want air, you can open the windows. We're going to a lot of different places to get another club. Well, why not, mon chéri? Nous allons aller à speak to me in English like that, right? After you spread your leave, why don't we all go to another nightclub? I would enjoy very much drinking a nightclub with you. And I would enjoy very much taking with a young lady, Miss Stone. Mais c'est un I cannot do what you suggest. You see, I've known him for a long time. I cannot kick him in the past. No, he would kick back. Why are you back so soon? Oh, I thought maybe I would spread myself around and dance with somebody else. That's my idea. Right. You know, Mary, I've known Jack for many years. No two years what for an American. I like him very much. Well, that's something I'd like to tell you, Maurice. You know, everyone thinks Jack is very stingy. Deep down inside, he has a heart of gold. Oh, he's got it inside, too.
Start by talking a bit about what happened last Thursday. Right before this started, I was thinking to myself, like,
To the athlete only comes $8.50. $8.50? Never mind, I'll use my own pen. Boss, you're only going to time a chestnut out the Declaration of Independence. How much did I go again? $8.50 for the athlete plumbing company. Plumbing? Yeah, they fixed our dishwasher. The drain was clogged up again. Everybody on this street has a dishwasher. Why don't they have trouble? They don't try to wash paper plates. How much did that do again? $8.50. To the electric company. book and see if I have enough money in the bank. Calm down. Dipping into your bank account and taking out $8.50 at a time is like trying to help you like meat with a spoon. Don't be wild. I'm just going to sit here and look.
Anybody home?
What's beneath now in the kitchen? Okay. Pardon.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, Jack.
No, ma'am. We just paying my bills.
It's a coincidence. But I was doing this afternoon, too. And so happy. I finally made out the last check of the payment on the mortgage for my mother's house.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And if it isn't late in the mail, you should get it in the morning.
Is that what you came up to talk to me about?
No, you see, Jack, I dropped by to ask you to come over to my house tomorrow afternoon.
Tomorrow afternoon?
Yes, I'm having the annual reunion of the girls at the maid company that I used to work with.
Oh, no. Oh, no, you're not going to get me into that again. Not after what happened last year.
But Jack!
Don't but Jack me. I'm not going, and that's fine. Rochester, answer the phone. Okay, boss. Mr. Bellman, Jeff Star, stage, screen, radio, and television. The foregoing was a very political announcement. I even got down on my knees. Nothing, took a brush in my hand, I had to scrub the floor. Oh, no, this isn't the tournament. Right now he's in the den arguing with Miss Livingston. She's trying to get him to come over to her house for the annual maid company reunion, but he refuses to go on account of what happened last year. Oh, it's a long story. The person had asked me to come over to her house and help out in the kitchen.
How are you getting on, Rochester?
I made another batch of salad.
Good. Now the guest came in, so I'll fix the plate for her. Well, Mr. Daniel wanted to come over and helping me out last night.
Oh, yeah.
Rochester, you're supposed to mix the salad, not feed her.
I know, but I just want to go ahead and show me the show.
Silly. I think I'll take one of these turkey sandwiches. Yeah,
I'm glad to hear that. I never made it like this before. the business was seen by 12 million people. Then how come they lost money? The Warner Brothers wanted to make refunds. That was their business.
Oh, I can do it. Oh, except this is mine. No, it's not. Okay.
No, don't bother. Although I haven't seen the girls with the makeup in so long. I want to take a peek. They weren't, but some smart aleck changed the subject. Gosh, I'm going home. When you get through here, come back to the house. Oh, Larry, what's the feature?
Oh, don't go, Jack. Come on, the girls would love to see you.
Now, my legendary ring. Oh, shit. That game's tough, man. Number 25 in the world. Or in this server. And you're not gonna know.
Three children, huh? How old are the girls?
Well, Johnny is 8 and Margaret is 12.
And how old is Robert?
39. Oh, see, I don't have anything for you to sign. Oh, here. Sign it on this dollar bill. You've seen one, you've seen more.
Jerry, I'm just looking at that because it's so recent. You must have had this bill for a long time.
Yeah, it's sort of a souvenir. I got it as a refund from the Warner Brothers.
Shut up. Well, girls, I'll run along.
worst I ever found in my whole life. I don't know. It felt like I had a live anchovy in my throat.
If I didn't kill it, nothing will.
What's the point? No. Just because I don't know what her super move is.
You know, getting engaged is a serious business. Yes, I mean, how do you know you love me?
I saw it written on the sidewalk.
I asked her if she was sure. She said, you're just infatuated with me because I'm on the stage and I have my own name.
You're also irresistible.
I know, that's why we have to be careful. Every time, it's a pity.
It's a sign. I need to figure out how to do a fireball. Is it charged? If it's charged, I need a second chance. I need to know how to do a fireball. That's really weird. That's not an unfair advantage.
Let's get out of here. You're not mad, are you, Mary?
No, I'm not mad. That's just as well. We got engaged, I'd have to take him home and introduce him to my family, and I don't think they're ready for me yet.
I still don't know how to do a super move. That would help.
Money I was making a week? $35. And out of that, I had to take care of my father and my mother and my sister.
Gosh, I didn't know that.
Well, there were a lot of things he didn't know. So I was disappointed about that ring with you. Every week I used to take my story. Last week I finally moved it. No, it's all. You still left about the ring? I can let you have it whole. There's no use talking about it because I'm not coming and that's that.
But I'm not asking you to come as a guest. After all, you have nothing in common with the girls of the May Company. I'm asking you to come as an entertainer. I want you to play your part.
My body?
Yes.
The regular ring? Well, then what are we waiting for? Come on, let's go.
Tuesday night at 7 Eastern.
A rematch. Okay.
Then at 7:30, Toby tries to impress a girl with his
Yeah, I gotta see what happens.
Now stay tuned for Unknown Time. Next year on Studio Cover.
Accepted my challenge. Here he is, llama. Even though you did say a lot of terrible things about me, I mean, like my being cheap, stingy, a quitter, I still want to welcome you to the Lucky Strike. Well, thanks, Jack. It's very nice. But in fairness to myself, those things weren't just my opinion, you know, Pete. As a matter of fact, my sponsor was so angry that he told me to tell you could keep the $64. But please give back the free restaurant. See, I haven't got the kit. I sent it to my sister in Chicago. Can't get it back? Well, I think so. I'll refund the money. Jack, I still can't understand. I had a chance to win all that money.
Okay, how about... They're always ready for it when they're obvious. Oh. The only one not ready for it when they're obvious is me. No. No. Well, let it end this way.
I've got $128. We'll have to put you in the isolation. An isolation for $256? That's right. Bring out the move.
It's too much. It's just too much. Oh, they're at. Oh, they're one cup. 2 days. One.
And many men have achieved fame in these fields. Name the founders and the prime contributions of each of the following 8 branches of duality. Morphology, embryology, primatology, paleozoology, zoology, taxonomy, ecology, and zoologiography. Can I get a lion back in here with me, Ben? It's too late. Now, Hal, this is a little difficult, so don't be teachers. Concentrate for the full time allotted.
Same ceremony.